Good morning, YouTube, and for those who are actually watching this, I ask myself all the time, why MotoVlog? Why do the other guys do it? Why do I watch them do it? Honestly, I ride around on my motorcycle talking to myself all the time, so it seems fitting to me to engage this therapeutic endeavor and go ahead and start motovlogging. I've actually been inspired by guys like Shawn, Smoak and XXXDeadhead. Really inspired by the guy Rob Ash in England. It's a treat watching his motovlogs because he's in such a unique area, at least to me. He may find my area to be unique as well. I'm in the desert Southwest, Tucson, Arizona. And as we get going here, I'll talk a little bit more about my bike. This is likely to be the bike you will see me on most of the time. Probably a bad idea to start motovlogging in a parking garage. Oh man, I've got 4 floors of this to go too. So I've got several other, I don't know if you call them vlogs, but YouTube channels and things like that. Various things. And I've done various things from offering tutorials on how to repair things and tutorials on how to play songs, on the guitar. Of course, I've got a YouTube channel for my band. I'm not going to plug all that right now. We can develop into that later. Pardon me. I'm going to wait until I get out of this parking garage before I drop the juicy stuff on you because honestly, I'm not sure with as loud as it sounds in here to me. I'm pretty sure the microphone's going to be amplifying it, so I'll go ahead and talk a little bit again in somewhat quieter conditions. I will talk a little bit about my setup, what I'm using to motovlog and record. And how I go about doing all of it. So, alright, we're on the ground floor here. There we are, out on the surface street now. So this ought to give a little bit better opportunity. I've tested my microphone and my helmet setup. I find it very similar and conducive to other products I've seen on YouTube as far as quality of sound and things like that. I just closed my shield, so it's going to sound a lot beefier. I will run it through an EQ and see if I can't put a high pass filter on there somewhere, scrub off some of those droning lows. So right about now you're probably asking yourself, is this guy riding a lawnmower? What is that sound? What is that sound? Well, what you're hearing is the closest thing you can find nowadays to a classic British single without it being a classic British single. This is a 2002 Royal Enfield Bullet 500. The design that I'm riding in 2002 is still primarily the 1955 design. So it's a 4-speed, meant to be a right-hand shift. So there's a lever on that side that you use for kicking the bike into neutral. And there's a weird set of linkage to help you shift on the left. I guess that was for exporting to the American market. I'm not sure. But this bike is virtually unchanged. It's still got an iron barrel. You know, the design, I should say, is unchanged since roughly 1955. It's got an iron barrel. It's got push rods, so you're going to hear a lot of valve talk. We have a saying, those of us who ride Royal Enfields: loud valves save lives. Hey, look, there's my shadow. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm riding a bike that, well, time forgot to stop making. I don't have anything against any other bikes at all. In fact, if I were a hippie in any regard, I said if I were a hippie in any regard, it would be in regard to motorcycles, in the way of free love. Ride what you like and like what you ride. So, you know what? If you like metrics or Harleys, all the more power to you. I'd just rather see people get out and enjoy what I enjoy, which is being up on two wheels and cruising around. I really don't have brand loyalty specific. I simply have educated myself about the Royal Enfields because, quite honestly, they require a lot of maintenance. At least this specific model does. The newer ones are made with alloy and aluminum. They're unit construction engine, so the transmission and everything's all in one case. This one still has the separate primary, separate transmission, and then the engine. So it requires a lot more maintenance, but I kind of like doing that kind of stuff, so for me that is not a detriment. Although it may be to someone who wants to pick up an older one of these Royal Enfields and decides that they want to use it for a daily commuter. If you do, you got to be prepared for little things to shake and wiggle off and all that good stuff. Now, the folks that like Royal Enfields, folks that have been watching my other videos, my ride videos, they love the sound of a Royal Enfield. There's something about the old thumper. A lot of the guys that I know on the Royal Enfield forums, they were around back when bikes like this were the norm, you know, the 500, 300 to 500 cc, British singles, BSA, Nortons, and things like that. A lot of the guys that I read on the forums and stuff that offer advice on how to repair these bikes, they were around when these bikes were brand new on the market, and I'm talking like the genuine 1955 models and stuff. So I think for them, watching the ride videos and having these types of bikes is nostalgic and brings back memory. I personally like the sound of a thumper. This thing it's really low revving engine. You can't wind it up. It's a 500cc long bore, and it's got a really heavy flywheel. So when you're getting on it, it makes a very distinct sound. When it's idling, it makes a very distinct sound because everybody's listening for that V-twin rumble and tumble, and this doesn't do that. This just goes pop, 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 pop. So, Tucson, Arizona. This is indeed an interesting place to live. Doesn't seem like it. It's the desert. Sorry about that, folks. I've got you facing right into the sunlight. I've got my sun shield down. So if you get a chance to look past the sunlight here, there are some palm trees and things like that. And most of them planted here by other folks. Wow, it is really easy doing a MotoVlog to just ramble on and on and on. I've actually been doing dry runs of practicing, and this is the first one that I set out and said, you know what, I'm finally going to post something up. I thought I was done testing microphones, at least for now. We'll see what my mixing abilities can do when I get the audio in the mixer. I'd like to have a nice solid sound of the bike in the background and have my voice in the foreground, and not have it too consumed by wind blast, or hopefully I haven't talked too loud. So I'm approaching this with a bit of trepidation, and perhaps I'll post it just for my embarrassment, because I gotta tell you, all those motovloggers out there that I like to watch, they all started somewhere. And well, they all do a really good job, and they're real free about sharing their expertise and their experience, and they're real free about showing how they've evolved as they've continued to do it. So I shouldn't be bogarting my embarrassment, I suppose, because those guys, they regularly expose themselves, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but they truly do. A lot of the motovloggers I watch, you know, I've felt sympathy for them, empathy. They really do. Quite a few of them share themselves out there. You got the guys out there that just want to do wheelies and stoppies, or race other cars, and that's cool. You know, they've got their audience. And I don't know why I find it so compelling to watch motovloggers. I like motorcycles, and for some reason I like people bearing their souls, people who feel like they have something to say. I've laid witness to people experiencing life and death situations on the motorcycle, dealing with life and death. You know, it ranges so far and wide that I rarely watch television anymore. I spend, if I'm going to sit down and watch something for an hour or a half hour, I'm going to look up one of my favorite vloggers and watch them instead. And I just don't have a great desire to sit and watch some pre-canned garbage that's thrown up on TV nowadays. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my guilty pleasures, but there's something ultimately real about the motovloggers, even though what they're putting up may be just the face that they want YouTube to see. It's obviously a face that they want to get out, and that's why they're doing it. To a certain extent, that's exactly why I'm doing it. I don't see anybody getting rich off of their YouTube channels. Even some of the vloggers that my kids watch, that's PewDiePie and stuff like that, the gamers and stuff online, that review games, and they make some pretty funny videos. I've seen some of them. I'm not downing them, but I'm just saying, those guys, man, that stuff looks like a full-time job for them, and none of them are getting rich. So I don't think people get into doing motovlogging and things like this for the sake of getting rich. I really don't. I think they do it because there's a part of them that they want to reveal to the world. This is the avenue they've chosen to do it. So, wow, I've gone on a long ways. I might have to make 2 vlogs out of this. Is that cheating? Is it cheating? Is it cheating to take a single vlog and break it up into 3 or 4 motovlog videos on YouTube? Is that cheating? Is it cheating if you present it as a separate vlog? See, this is my thing. You know, I don't think it's cheating. I think because you might have 30, 40 minutes worth of something to say, and people don't have 30, 40 minutes to sit down and watch the entire video. So, and as your topics change, you might be able to isolate it in separate videos. And of course, I'm not talking about the epic stuff with, you know, if you're doing a meetup and, oh, I don't know, let's say down in, let's say over in Utah somewhere, and, you know, you got like 6-7 days worth of video. Well, obviously, that's not a big deal. And that's expected to kind of break that up. So, in fact, I may break up this kind of stuff sitting at stoplights. This is a Tucson pastime. Yep. Tucson's pastime. Sitting at a stoplight. So as I was saying, let's see, this guy's going to have to get over. Is he going to wait for me, or shall I go past? Alright. Somebody's coming to run me down. It's awesome. So we can talk a little bit about some of the things I've done to my bike. One of the things that I've done that is extremely helpful to me in Tucson traffic is I've installed a Cadillac horn. What? A Cadillac horn? That's right, a Cadillac horn. Oh, look at all these cyclists, huh? I'm giving them 3 feet. That's the law in Arizona. Slow it down, give them 3 feet. I suppose it's the same in other states, but we have a lot of cyclists here. I think Arizona, I don't know, a year or two ago was named one of the #1 or #2 motorcycle cities in the country. They have more miles of dedicated dedicated bicycle lanes than just about any other city in the country. The weather, it's roughly 340 days of sunny skies, and even during the monsoon season, like right now we're amidst the monsoon season, the clouds won't kick up and we won't start getting thunderstorms till the afternoon. So I can get out and do these early morning MotoVlogs or go for my early morning ride, especially on the weekends. I feel so funny because I could go on talking forever. I am a total motor mouth, and I could go on forever, and I don't know where to stop this thing. So when I go back and watch it, it's going to be hard to watch because I'm going to want to cut everything out. And you never know. It could be that I'm cruising along right now at 55 miles an hour, and the wind noise in my helmet is just taking it out on the microphone. So, since I don't know if this is going to be my permanent setup here, but what I'm using here is I've got a GoPro Hero 3. It's not a Hero 3 Plus or Silver or anything like that. It's a GoPro Hero 3. And I'm using one of these cheap little, I don't know what they are, 78 cents on Amazon.com, but 78 cent. I think it's called Neewer. Spelling is N-E-E-W-E-R. Neewer microphone. I was kind of surprised. I thought it only cost $5, and I ordered one up, and much to my surprise, there were 5 in the package. And for a little under $5, I had it shipped to my house, drop shipped, Amazon Prime, and boom, there it was. No turn on red. All right, this is again more Tucson pastime. So my shield's open again. Sorry about that. My shield's open. It's gonna blow right on the microphone. So there we go. I vowed not to say anything too important when I have the shield up. There we go. We'll get a good look at the profile again. Never mind the fat guy sitting on the back. There we are. I don't know if you can see that. Got the little pedestrian slicer there. Got my GoPro on the helmet. Kind of silly, isn't it? That's alright. I know the people most interested in watching this, even if it only gets 3 views, will be people who enjoy silly stuff like this. So, I'm meeting my audience's needs. Hey, look, River Road. Here's a road that used to be really, really dangerous. They carved it up with construction. And, ooh, look at all that sand and dirt. Okay, this might not be a good idea today. With all the monsoons we've been having, it can really take its toll on these roads up here. Some of these older roads where things wash out a lot, you'll be coming around a blind curve, and all of a sudden, wham, there's a bunch of sand, you know, 4 inches of sand sitting on the road. So those of you who might be wondering about the performance of this bike, I can tell you this, it's not real fast. It is actually kind of slow. But what it is it's, I think the term people are fond of using is flickable. It's a light bike. I think it's just a tad under 400 pounds where my big butt isn't on it. And that means you can stand it right back up out of a curve, out of a twisty. Not that I get too aggressive with it. It has a kind of a poorly thought out design for the brake pedal on the right hand side. Ooh, that's a nice bump. And if you're curving to the right, if you're turning to the right and you're in a lean, you will most certainly scrape that brake pedal before you scrape your peg. And it's kind of unnerving when it happens. It's not like it comes off, or, you know, I'm such an aggressive rider that I'm really digging up some asphalt with it. But it's a bit unnerving when you hit it, because you don't feel it the same way on the left side of the bike, because there's no brake pedal there. So you've got a couple more inches to go before you have to worry about scraping peg. And really, this bike isn't meant for that kind of riding anyway. So, but sometimes when you're coming down Mount Lemon or something like that, lots of twisty roads and whatnot, it can be fun to really lean into, especially since the bike is so light and you can just sort of throw it around. I mean, all you have to do is just think about it, and this bike wants to just draft in the lane. You think go left, and all of a sudden you're on the left. My riding experience has been mostly on dirt bikes. I rode dirt bikes. There were periods in my life where I rode dirt bikes for I don't know, 6-7 hours a day. And so that's my experience on dirt bikes, and it doesn't leave you very confident on street bikes. You'll notice that I'm a very cautious driver, and I don't like to take lots of risks on the street where other people can have an impact on what happens to you. You know, if you're all alone somewhere, well, I suppose you're the only one that can really impact yourself, and you're the only one you can impact. But I don't take a whole lot of risks. I try to stay clean on my driving and my riding when I'm in town and on the roads. To that end, I don't ride dirt bikes anymore. You know, knees, hips, ankles, all that stuff, it starts to tell you when you get to a certain age. It's time to leave that to the younger riders. So that's exactly what I've done. Now, as my vlog progresses, I plan on doing several things. I hope to keep it relatively organized for you. So I have some videos where I've made modifications to my bike, repairs and things like that. I also have just my plain ride videos, and there are lots of folks that like the ride videos, so I'll still be making the ride videos. This is just me riding around, sound of me, just the sound of the bike. And that will be primarily for those that like to watch a ride, and specifically the Royal Enfield bombing through town. And then I'll have my MotoVlogs. And the MotoVlogs, and I'll separate them into playlists and try to keep things organized and easy to find for you folks. Did you guys hear that scream? That was me giving a head nod to that motorcycle rider. That's my helmet. You like that? Sounds like a woman screaming for help. At least in my helmet it does. So as the MotoVlog progresses, you'll find three sections on my YouTube channel. One will be for repairs, and not just repairs, but upgrades, things I do to the bike. And then you'll find a section for the ride videos, and then, which was right now, that's the largest section, and then you'll find a section of me doing this, of me riding around town, going and doing Tucson's favorite pastime, which is sitting in traffic lights. So, with that being said, I think I have myself my first vlog. Go back and listen to it. I'm sure the audio sounds atrocious. I haven't really worked this out a lot. I've been playing with it for a couple of weeks. Look at me, I'm doing a Shawn Smokes. I'm doing a Shawn Smoak goodbye here. I've said my salutation several times and I still haven't gone away. No, I love it when Shawn does that. So at any rate, I'm back in Midtown. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the camera, and you folks you guys have a good rest of the weekend. It's Saturday morning, it's just getting started. Tee-hee. I'm still recording. It's not like I have that little remote thing. Beep, beep, beep.